wanted to, for our very final week of art at home lessons, do them from the art room. I'm so glad that I get to be here teaching you guys from my very favorite room in the lower school. This week we're going to be doing a couple different things. We're going to be creating some houses that some of you have already created with me on a Zoom call. We're also going to be doing what's called contour drawing. So let's get started. We are going to make this super duper fun house. Now your house doesn't have to be the same shape or size as mine. It can also be colored a little bit later when you want it to be colored. But what we're going to be doing is the same basic idea and creating a house that has a door with some windows that we can turn into flaps. So the first thing we need to do is do the shape of our house. I'm going to stick with a square. You can follow along with the same shape as me, or you can do it a little bit different. I'm going to leave some room at the bottom and leave some room at the top for a roof, and I'm going to do some stairs. You could change this to a sidewalk if you want. But I'm going to do a little rectangle first, and then my rectangles are just going to keep getting bigger. Now for my roof, I like my roof to be centered, so I go right to the middle, go up to the top, draw an imaginary line, and make a little dot. That way I know where my roof line needs to go on either side. Now if you want it to be a little bit more realistic, turn it into a skinny rectangle like this. That way if I want to color it, I actually have a shape that I can color and not just a line. But it looks like it's floating. We need something in the background that makes the sky and the ground look like they're touching. That's called the horizon line. So right here, I'm going to do it a little bit high. Now it looks like my house maybe is sitting on a hill. Adding the details of the door and the windows. You get to choose whether you want your door to be rounded or rectangular, or if you want it to be a double door. I might make this one a double door, and I'll show you how to cut that one. Don't forget your door handles. And then any kind of design or pattern that you want to put on it. On this house right here, I just did a little rectangle door with a window. Now I'm going to do some windows. I want to do a big square right here. Your windows can be any shape, any size. And then I want to add some window panes. I might add a big circle window up here in what would be my attic. And then maybe right here I have windows that match the shape of my door. So it doesn't matter how many windows you have, it's up to you on what you want your windows to look like. Now on this one I'm going to add a few little details. Now remember, if I'm going a little too fast for you, you can always pause and then hit play when you're ready. So now I could be ready to go ahead and cut my windows, but I'm going to add a few more details to my house. Now, we want to make cuts into our paper, but we don't want to start cutting from the edge of our paper like this. We want to cut into our paper. So there's a way to do that that's super duper easy. We want to fold where we're going to cut our windows. So right here, I'm not folding it in half. I'm going to fold it right here on where my windows are going to be on the fold. So see, all three of these windows actually fit on this fold. So wherever it's folded, I'm going to start cutting here and here, maybe cut right there. On a square window, you're going to cut 3 of the 4 sides. If it's a rectangle window, you're also going to cut 3 of the 4. Now I've got this little slit cut in here, so I can fit my scissors in there. So this one, I might decide to cut the side, bottom, and then maybe this side right here. So that way, this flap opens from the bottom and it opens to the top like this. This one I might decide is big and awesome, so I'm going to actually cut the top and the sides, but leave the bottom attached. If it's a square window, remember, cut 3 of the 4 sides. Now, if it's a rounded window, fold it still, so you do it the same way you do your other one. We want to cut a little slit on the edge, just a little. I'm actually going to cut a little on both. Open it up, and because your circle is round, it doesn't have straight lines, don't cut super huge or it'll cut past your window. It's kind of hard to go backwards with your scissors too. But do the best you can. And remember, if you cut off a window, is it okay? Sure, you can always tape it. So this one I cut around the whole thing. except for the top. That way I can open and close my circle window. For your door, super duper important that you cut on the part where a door would actually open. Make sure that you cut open the part that would make sense for the door to open. So on this one, I'm going to fold my paper. I can cut this whole entire line, and I'm only gonna cut a part of the top because it's rounded, and then the whole bottom part so that it opens and closes. So I'm gonna cut probably about to right where it starts to become a straight line. So I'm gonna start, cut in the middle, all the way up, and then open, and I'm gonna cut these windows too. I'll go ahead and start these. I'm gonna cut this line all the way down to the bottom, and then I can go to the left on the bottom of that door, and then to the right. So if you just did a rectangle door, you'll want to make sure that you only cut 3 of the 4 sides of your rectangle, and make sure that the one that you don't cut is the one that's opposite of your door handle. This is a little more challenging door if you want to try more of a challenge. Whoop, ripped my paper a little bit, but that's okay, you can't even tell. So that way now my door opens this way and this way. So that's kind of fun. I've never done a double door like that. That's super neat. I like that a lot. If this part bugs you, if it rips or something like that, you can always tape it from the inside because the inside isn't a place where anybody sees. Here are my rounded windows. I'm actually gonna do those like this. So my rounded window, I cut the whole top part around, but I left this bottom part right here, so that's the part that opens and closes. Once you're done with your pencil part of your drawing, you can trace all of your lines with Sharpie. You can color any of this that you want. You can even add details. I'm starting to add a little garden in the front of mine. You could do a sidewalk right here instead of stairs. But what's super duper cool is the next part where we add another piece of paper behind. I am going to choose a colored piece of paper to put behind. You can choose a colored piece of paper or you can choose a white piece. And one of the main reasons I'm doing a colored piece is so that you can see behind my paper when I lift up my flap. Here's my colored piece. I'm gonna line up the edge right here. So if you have tape at home or if you have a stapler, you can use either one or you can use both. Staple these two together. So now it's gonna open like a book. On this one, I taped all of the edges except for the top, so that way I could put stuff down inside of it. Here's a cool piece of art that I did. Stick it down inside, that way I can change out what I put behind my flaps. This could be a picture of your house, and in each of the windows you could put something that you've been doing while we've been stuck at home all this time. You could draw a picture of your family behind the front doors. You could draw your brother and your sister behind the windows, anything you want. Now, when your house is in the front, we're only gonna see what's behind the window flaps. But if you leave it to where you only staple or tape one side down, you open it up like a book, like this, you can draw anything you want to on the page that's behind, and it'll be a surprise what shows through your window flaps. If you want to be really, really particular on what is behind your window flaps, trace the shape of the window there and here. That way, when you open it up, you'll be able to see, okay, here is where this window is and here's where this window is. And in this window, I might draw a picture of myself. Maybe I'm in my room doing art. Here's my easel with my art, and I have a paintbrush in my hand. And here's a paint palette. So that way when I close it up, that's what I see when I open that flap. Now I could draw other stuff around, like maybe I have a staircase here in my house. So that's not gonna be something that I see in my flap, except for maybe that one, but I see it when I open my whole house, which is kind of cool. So this is the front. You can color it, add whatever you want to, add a sun in the corner, you can add clouds, grass, color whatever you want, and make it yours. Have fun.